This is part two of the biggest secret about making money that you need to be aware of. So I've given a little guide, a little introduction about this concept in part one. In this part two, we are going to dive into it into much more better perspective. One thing, as I've said before, that you need to be very conscious of is there's a strong relationship between making money and lifestyle. So what do I mean by making money and lifestyle? You see, for you to make money in this life, you must first have a proper mindset about money. Proper mindset, yes. Proper mindset is very, very important. That is why some of us invest a lot of time to be putting videos like this that you see on the internet space. Because you need to have a proper wiring of your mindset to build a lifestyle. You need a lifestyle which you'll be implementing before you can begin to see wonderful result. It's not about constantly coming online to watch videos. I made that mistake when I started to as a beginner those days. I'll come online, watch tons of videos without implementing any. And guess what? At the end of the day, what I ended up was with $0, zero naira, nothing, nothing. So this is the roadmap that you need to take into consideration as you are watching this video. This video is going to be one of the best lifesaver video that you have been waiting for, and trust me, you get to appreciate it by the end of this video. So this is what you need to be aware of. You see, this lifestyle starts from one, building a lifestyle of getting information about some basic strategy about money, which some of us are giving here. You see, you need this information because you cannot implement what you don't know, and the little you have, try to implement it. Don't sit down and say tomorrow is another day. That was how I started before I began to see results. The implementation matters a lot because 99% of people who watch videos online don't implement any. So don't fall into the group of those 99. Try to be that one person that implements most of the things you see. Some of people, because of the complexity that comes with platforms like social media, Facebook, they rather go for paid course in some instances. Yes, paid course will give you a much more straightforward guide on some core concept on what you are looking for. That is why some of us here are also here to provide some of the basic material for the paid version where you can connect and really get a clear mental picture of what you need to know and how to go about it. These videos are not difficult. They are just elementary part that will really help you too. So it's there, but there are some key things you need to study about yourself that in some of those videos that we are giving will help you much more better than this elementary aspect that we are looking at. And by the time you have your brain is properly wired with the relevant information, because you see, information is very, very powerful, and then by the time you build your skill and your authority in that particular line, that means you can now begin to grow in that aspect. Growing in that aspect is where you have to build that lifestyle. You see, the lifestyle of making 1,000 naira or $1 is not the same lifestyle of making $1 million. You need to understand that, because if you try to use the lifestyle of $1 to get $1,000, you become frustrated. It's not going to work, because every level in life has stages, and in every stage there are lifestyle that are associated with it and some key common stuff that you need to know. So that is why information like this are very, very important, that will help you shape your mind so that you transform through that journey of where you want to where you are now, and then to where you are going to. Because if you don't understand these things, you are going to be frustrated. Some videos you see on the internet space, they are not for you. Some of them, they are for people who are already at this stage where they are moving from where they are making $100 or $200 to $1,000. So if you want to implement what you see here, you stand a 99% chance of getting frustrated. It's not going to work, and trust me, it will never work. So these lifestyles really matter. That is why for most content creators, when you come online, you see video, they tell you to pick a niche. The concept of picking a niche is to ensure that you build a particular lifestyle in that particular stuff. For my own case, I've been able to try all these things, and it worked. I've tried to pick a lifestyle around content creation, and I saw a very beautiful result. I've picked a lifestyle around freelancing, and I also saw a very beautiful result in that regard. I picked a lifestyle around digital marketing, and I've seen a very beautiful result. I picked a lifestyle around helping businesses to make more money to build their brands. I've seen another beautiful result in that regard. That means I've equipped myself to a lot of information that when I'm implementing it, it gives me a very beautiful result that sometimes when you see some of us post certain videos here, you get surprised. How are we doing it? Can we help you out? Yes, it's possible. We didn't get to this stage by chance, or neither by accident, or neither by doing random things. That is why I'm giving you guys this roadmap that you need to go with. So this is the relationship between mindset and lifestyle. If you build a mindset like somebody who drinks a lot, every day you wake up one day that one day somebody will give you free thing or somebody will blow your life, you are going to be tied to that particular lifestyle of constantly hoping that one day somebody will change your life. Until one day you got to realize that you are 50 years old, 70 years old, 90 years old, and you hand over that lifestyle to your family, your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. Then before you know it, everybody is accusing somebody of witchcraft. So that is the problem that comes with some lifestyle. So that is the disadvantage. Well, by the time you start building this proper mindset now, the next couple of years, you must have started understanding the concept of wealth creation. Then you hand over to your children. No matter how far you have gone, even if you have not achieved everything, trust me, by the time you give that to your children, they will become much more better in what you do. In the next third generation of your family, you will be another well-known figure on the internet space or even in the world as a large. So that is how those family that you are seeing today get to this level. The internet has really broken that barrier. It's not like the way it used to be before. Those days, most people don't have access to those things. That's why you have to be buying tons of books, reading books, reading books, reading books, books. A lot of books about purpose-driven life, the psychology of sales and marketing, poor dad, rich dad, uh, email marketing, and the rest of them, digital. But the list of those books are endless. I wouldn't be able to mention the psychology of sales and marketing. So all those books are there. So those days, that is the only way. And the unfortunate problem most of our grandparents had was they never took those information serious. Even those who took those information serious, they never had the opportunity to implement it. And because they don't never understood the value of those information, they never implement any. So the few people who have access to this information and implemented it today, they are in the global space. They are the world. They are part of the recognized figure in almost every field of life that we are looking up to. So rather than going for professional courses, you need to understand this concept of lifestyle very well. That's why even if you are going to study medicine today, you need to be aware of they are going to build your lifestyle around the hospital environment, where the only way you can come out of it is by having another extra lifestyle that can build yourself as a brand, where you can grow beyond just being a medical doctor. A lot of people are ignorant of these things when it comes to some professional courses. The same thing happens to those within the legal profession, those who go to study law. You see, most of them at the end of the day, they only got to realize this late after they call to bar. And even in other engineering field and the rest of them, that's why we see some of them fighting with contractors every now and then, accusing the contractor of eating their money. So you need to understand this. See, when you understand these things very well, building this lifestyle, then you begin to talk about branding. From branding, you begin to talk about scaling, and you begin to build your own systems where you continue to make money even when you are no longer working. Because the truth is, you cannot continue to work all through your years of life. You will not have the energy that you're having now in the next couple of years. Even to sit down to watch videos like this, you will not be able to have that energy. But the only thing that will sustain you is the information that you are tapping now that is going to remain that breaking barrier, that stone that nobody can take away from it. It remains in your brain and it remains there permanent till the day you leave this earth surface and then you hand it over to your children or your next generation. So I believe you got to understand some of these things. And in building this wealth creation, these are some core concepts that you need to look out for. You see, when we talk about core concept, we are talking about the basic nitty-gritty of self-development, which a lot of people ignore. So with the advent of the internet space, they are always looking out for free information. Trust me, yes, free information like this are very good, but they are just for the elementary part of it that you need to be aware of. And then there are some that even though you have it, if you don't implement it, trust me, you will not go anywhere. So implementation matters a lot. By the time you implement, you get to understand what is working for you and what is not working for you. Then before you know, you continue to move. For my own case, I'll be able to build a couple of lifestyle around myself over the years. Since I later realized this, I have to build a particular lifestyle around myself that I now began to see some beautiful result that on a very good day it was. I do this on a pattern basis irrespective of how busy it is, and this is where discipline comes into play. When I talk about lifestyle, you must have passion for it, but you have to be disciplined too. It's not something you do anyhow. That means every blessed day I dedicated some hours where I wake up to check my email, check my inbox, check my social media messages, check whatsoever. I dedicated hours to post online, post on different platforms, look at what is going on and what is not going on, identify errors and how to fix them, what are the things I need to fix and what are the things I'm supposed to leave. All those things are very, very important as I continue to advance. So that is how you keep growing as a human being. It is not a static journey where you come to do it and expect that one overnight everything will work. You have to grow through this process. That is why wealth creation and money making is a growth process. We are supposed to learn some of these things right from childhood before we get to adulthood. But the problem is we have an unfortunate educational system where a lot of people are so tied to the conventional schooling system, where they believe that once you finish from here, you are born here, by the time you become a graduate, you get a high paying job. Sorry to say this, there's no any high paying job anywhere in the world, even in the developed society. The highest you can do is to build a lifestyle that will solve other people's problem where they pay you peanuts. And at the end of the day, sooner or later, you will retire and then you go back to that your original state where you are struggling to survive. And then trust me, before you know, you are no more. Your children will come and inherit this cycle. They will repeat the same cycle while others are building their name in the global space. You are struggling to survive. So that is the unfortunate thing you need to be aware of. So that means for you to really grow to this global space, correcting these things very matters a lot by starting with a little beginning, possibly getting a job. That's why I encourage people a lot. By the time you get this job, the next thing you do is this job will automatically, the job system are created in a way that they will buy all your time. You are caged. You are caged in this cycle to build a lifestyle around what they want you to do. Now, for you to come out of this, it means you are going to work extra hard. This is where a lot of people find it difficult. Yes, you have to work extra hard to break out of this normal cycle that they have tied you to. That is the only way you can do that, and you can only do that by getting relevant information tutorial like this, getting resources material like what we are providing here, to learn the psychology of money, how to understand money, how to sales and marketing, how to understand how the internet works, the digital space, what are the relevant networking, because your network, your net worth in the nearest future is going to be your network. Because this is why you see some people don't joke with their social media handle, having 1 million followers, 10 million followers. They fought very hard to get to that level because they understand the relationship between network and network. So you have to understand this. By the time you do that, you will now begin to have your own freedom where you begin to build. There are people that I've seen over the years that what they make online is even more than what they get paid as their salary. So after a while, they get to quit their job. In short, one of the best example I had was one of my mentor here online that I followed some years. He had to quit his job. Today he's doing so well that you will not believe that it was the same person I saw 5, 6 years ago. So that is the beauty of this internet space. The internet has really broken that barrier, as I said. You now have the opportunity to explore, to also key into it. You don't need anybody to beat you. If somebody will have to beat you, if you are working in an organization where somebody has to query you every day before you wake up, then you have a long way to go in this present generation, because doing things online, you will need that same level of commitment that you are giving in your office. There are days where I stayed, after a very busy day, I stayed from 9 to 1 a.m. attending to some of my online stuff to ensure that everything is going on well. So you need that discipline. That is why you see most of the most successful people on this earth surface, they are so disciplined that they have dedicated time, they do certain things. There are times that they keep their phone away. You think they don't like picking people's call. They have to make sure that they pay attention, because your attention is one of the most expensive commodity that you need on this earth surface. It's one of the best things that God gave you on this earth surface, because one single act of not paying attention can cost you your entire life. A lot of people are trapped today because they refuse to pay attention to a single line of sentence that would have changed their life, just like what they are watching in this video. From the beginning of the video, you always assume you know. Before you know, you skip it. You go to the next one. When the person is saying certain things, maybe you feel like you already know it, to skip it. That is how a lot of people get destroyed in this internet space. I was almost trapped in that particular line until one fateful day I watched a video of, I think the guy is just a 14 years old boy who was just doing something, but it's something familiar I knew before, but he just raised a particular sentence during that process of doing it, and boom, another fresh idea came into my brain. And that is how I picked it and I began to work on it, and I began to see beautiful results. So I believe from this video you've also learned something that will really begin to help your life, and then to continue to help you grow. Even as human beings, as we go about on our daily life, you need to understand that your lifestyle affects you a lot. There are health conditions that you might expose yourself, that all you need to do is just a little rest that will handle it, but because you ignore it, you don't pay attention, trust me, it's going to cost you your entire effort that you are putting in. That is why I lay so much emphasis on lifestyle, because if you have a mindset that is always expecting free things from people, you are going to build a lifestyle of begging. You can see, because you are looking for free thing, you turn to a beggar. And by the time you continue in that lifestyle of begging, very soon you grow old and your children will come back to be repeating that same cycle. And when they repeat that cycle, before you know, you are going to be building a lineage of poor people. By the time you continue in that circle, only God knows what will happen. You will start having a lot of issues of divorce, marriage disorganization, and the rest of them, and even accusing each other of all sorts of things, of not refusing to help each other. And before you know, the entire family is being destroyed. You can see the dangers of one little mistake that starts from here, being passed to all other people who are suffering the consequences. Some people who are watching this video today are suffering the consequences of some of these careless mistakes that their grandparents make. But it will take you that little effort to correct it. That is only if you are willing to pay attention, to follow these guides that I'm giving you. Because trust me, nobody is going to bring you out of it. No amount of prayers will bring you out of this unless you decide to understand this track chain I just give you now. So see you guys in my next video. Thanks once again.